Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. So we gotta hit back with some good news compared to yesterday's news, because yesterday's news was a little disheartening. Uh, Seeing that the GOP may be losing a seat, it's sure looking like that as of right now. But I guess you never know. But we got good news from North Carolina. The North Carolina GOP is announcing a push to redistrict. We do know that North Carolina was overcounted when it comes to the districts, when it comes to Democrats. And now Republicans are making the move to change that map. This goes into effect due to retaliations of Gavin Newsom's ballot measure. This shows that, Republicans, they aren't playing around. Regardless if this ballot measure succeeds or not, this gives Republicans the leverage to continue to go and deliver brutal consequences to Democrats. You'll see that you got people like the Raleigh News is suggesting that Trump is the guy behind this. He technically is, yes, but they want to make this out to be a negative thing. I think we're just delivering the consequences. Look, Gavin Newsom's allowed to rig the Electoral Commission. And as far as I know, with zero consequences when it comes to that. And if you want, this is obviously going to start a redistricting war. Gavin Newsom and Democrats, they're too delusioned. They think that this is the same old GOP of 2022, that they could easily scam them and get away with the benefits. But we aren't that GOP anymore. They can call us threat to democracy, whatever they want. They'll call us that even more now because they'll accuse us of rigging the maps. But let's be honest, they'll call us a threat to democracy regardless. So let's stop acting all goody-good, all these silly rhinos that are sitting there saying, oh, we shouldn't do this. We're being accused of rigging democracy. We're being accused of rigging elections. Like, you all don't understand that mid-decade redistricting exists. This is 100% legal. And if it was illegal, then lawfare would be used. But unfortunately, lawfare isn't being used. Oh, I should say unfortunately. But thankfully, lawfare isn't being used, meaning that it's not illegal, and we can do it. Now, the people that are criticizing this is, I do know gerrymandering is indeed unpopular. That's probably going to be used in need of a new conversation about that. But let's be honest, the census of 2020 will be always recognized as the most skewed, most rigged census in U.S. history, because we decided it would be an amazing idea to put illegal immigrants in the census. That's right, illegal immigrants in the census. And that basically gives us the leverage we need to say, you know what, we can redistrict any state we want. And if Democrats want to redistrict their states, okay, we can care less. But they don't really have much to choose from. They got Utah, California, and Maryland. And obviously the math, it's not looking so well for those two parties. And as CNN has laid it out, this is what it would look like clearly. So we'll go ahead and call the 2nd District, Henry Cuellar's seat. We'll say maybe it goes for the Republican here. We'll go ahead and call, Emmanuel Cleaver's seat is being called. You also got North Carolina. That is what we're aiming to pick up, of course, is the 1st District, which is right here. So let's go ahead and zoom it to North Carolina, and we say, okay, we're going to go and we're going to try to win that district. It would probably be more of a likely margin coming from that, if not almost solid. You also got 2 or 3 for, that's going to be inevitable, the Ohio maps, which we're still waiting for. But we would go and call Ohio. Let's go ahead and call that. Go ahead and call these. Okay, now you already have a Republican majority, but we'll see how the Democrats will do. Democrat redistricting. But you also have Indiana, first or second. They're saying it's possible. You could gerrymander Indianapolis out. That's very possible. We've done it. We haven't done it with Kentucky. We did that with Utah, with Salt Lake. Florida is to be determined, but it looks like Ron DeSantis is looking like he's going to go through with the redistricting there. So we would go and three. Yep. I don't know how. Yeah, you could split Tampa, but this is what it would look like. 3 seats total for Florida. And then you got Kansas. We'll go ahead and say that, yeah, you can gerrymander Sharice Davids out. Kick her out. You got New Hampshire. We can pull a New Hampshire out. Probably, you could say the 1st district. Then, of course, you got the next district of Nebraska. I don't know what that says, but I would have a hard time imagining how we're going to gerrymander Omaha. I personally don't know, but let's just say in some miracle we managed to win it, something like that. But yes, 227. Okay, I mean, it is on the list. If they're not going to get rid of Omaha for a 2nd district, then it wouldn't be on here. But these are the GOP states. Now let's talk about Democrats. Democrats could pick up this district right here. They could kick out Burgess Owens, California. If this ballot measure succeeds, obviously, what this would look like going forward. Los Angeles winning this. They're going to take out Young Kim. Okay. So I think that's what's being carried. So now GOP is at 221. Now, let me know if I missed the district. But regardless, GOP still holds on. And you got Maryland, which they want to get rid of the Dipper. Which, I mean, I wonder how they're going to actually do that. I mean, Maryland is already gerrymandered so much. So just adding it in because CNN thinks it can be done, if not still relatively compatible, GOP still wins handingly. These are not including competitive seats. So GOP will start off at 220, which it will guarantee them the House of Representatives. See, Democrats cannot win the said gerrymandering war. And on top of that, the GOP can walk away with the brutal Supreme Court decision. They could very much well walk away with a couple new states when it comes to what the Democrats want to say, removing, quote, quote, the Voting Rights Act, which we're not. It's basically declaring that, hey, look, it's going to decide, and here's my argument. They say, oh, African Americans are entitled to their own district, but here's the problem, though. This is assuming that African Americans are going to vote Democrat. And we're seeing time and time again that African Americans are leaving the Democratic Party. There's such thing as Republican African Americans. So the Supreme Court is going to decide, okay, is this constitutional? These race-based districts constitutional? So assuming that it's not going to be constitutional, GOP could very well gain District 7 and District 2. In Georgia, they will probably gain District 2. And, okay, there's Hawaii. We'll go all the way down to the southern states. Louisiana, Now, I do think they're going to keep District 2 simply because it has New Orleans, but we're going to take back District 6, looking at Mississippi. We would flip District 2. That would be a flip for sure. Trying to think, what else race-based districts are there? South Carolina, that's right. We got the district in South Carolina. We flipped that, District 6. And I'm trying to think. Is that it? Yeah, I think that's it. Although there is this district too, Virginia 4. You could see some redistricting, but I think the Democratic Party of Virginia is not going to let that fly. But this is what you're starting off with if everything goes into good. And it's not necessarily guaranteed that California will pass the ballot measure. I know a lot of people think they will, but I'm just saying this ballot measure, this move from Gavin Newsom, very, 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 very controversial. Not everyone is on board with it. I keep hearing the words, when they go low, we go high. Even though I disagree with their statement. So it's not necessarily set into place. And that will kind of be like, even if we lose New Jersey and Virginia and we pick up this, that's a good night for us because, we are guaranteeing massive gains for the Republican Party in the future. So this is probably, you could very well see 231 seats for the Republicans in the 2026 elections. Now, a lot of you all probably are wondering, what would a House map for North Carolina 1 look like? And I'm saying you expect to see a map very similar, looking like this, okay? Now, obviously, looking at the borders, it's quite obvious that these maps were drawn to include African-American counties or close to being African-American counties or competitive Republican counties. But if we add this huge chunk of the East to North Carolina 1, this would pretty much put this into Republican territory. And the point is, we do have to give up some land in North Carolina 1, specifically because we don't want to size the district for too much people that it is to represent. So you get a district like this, say, a better realistic border is right here. Okay, perfect. And it would look something like this. It wouldn't be like 60% Republican, but it would be enough to definitely throw Don Davis out. Now we got to talk about which parts of the district we're going to give up and trade. And I would say, looking at this, we could probably say that we can give these African-American areas, something like that, to the said district. It's going to be a little bit of a jungle gym here. But you see, giving this area, these are African American counties, they're Democrat counties, and I think they're just too unpopulated enough. Yes, the vote totals, the margin would go down a little bit, but it isn't enough to throw the current Republican out. Okay. Let's go ahead and give this one here. Okay. And so this looks like now we got to give something like, I would say probably these communities to this. And I think it would be a good enough for a change here. So this is your redistricting map in North Carolina. This is District 1, old Don Davis's seat. So we can do a little bit of comparing here right now. Before and after. So this is not the official map, by the way. This is really a hypothetical, if you can't tell. Obviously, it's a hypothetical. But this would this be my proposed map? Not really. I wouldn't say that. But it would be something to expect. Expect this whole area to go here. And oh yeah, that's right. That's right. We got to make up for this because we took out a huge population. So the question is, where are we going to make up for this? Now, I would say, looking at, let's just say, New Brunswick, or Brunswick, New Hanover County, where Wilmington is, you draw, I would say, something like this. Maybe there's a big trail that goes all the way up or something like that. I would think that we give this to this, okay? So we take this part of that district, and we got to make up for that population, so we'll just go along the South Carolina border. We'll just say it goes right up here. I don't know if that's going to be realistic or if that's a realistic border, but I guess we're going to find out. This is for, of course, the district holding Wilmington, New Hanover County, which is basically all the way over here. This district going from here to here. I think that would be good enough. But the question is, now we got to talk about this, okay? All right, we go ahead and give this area. But now we got to go, yeah, it's going to be a mess here. And we'll go and give maybe we make this a little bit competitive. We might have to make it a little bit competitive because of the massive change. Hopefully they can find this better. But yeah, yeah, we'll go ahead and give this to that district west of Raleigh. And you get a district looking like this, but this might be a compatible district because I'm thinking what we might have to do is take a little bit of this area, a little bit of suburbs to make up for that population. But not much. Okay? Not much. And finally, we will go and finish with giving a little change in neighborhoods, a little flip here. All right. So now it looks like this. Okay. It's a little unrealistic, but you get the idea of what to expect with the North Carolina map. Okay? And there you guys have it. A fully fixed map. And some say you might want to flip this district right here, regardless of what that district is actually called. I'm not sure. We got to know these North Carolina districts. It looks like we're not aiming to pick that district up. That's District 2. We're mainly going after District 1. So you can see the changes. Before, after. Okay. So anyway, what do you guys think in regards to this video? Let me know down below. And as always, I'll see you all in the next political episode.